learn more about the consequences of things you do and how you act, how it impacts your neighbor or your environment, short term and long term. I think that's a really big one. And get out and enjoy the environment and see what you do have and what you may be missing that other people, why they think it's so much more important to protect.
The future stands right now in balance. Are we going to protect these waterways? Are we going to recognize that how valuable this is to our county and get behind it and view this as the most important resource that we have? Or are we going to go in another direction and abuse this resource and deplete this resource and leave it in a state for our children that is worse than when we inherited it? So we have to decide as a county, are we going to embrace what our valuable treasures are, like our water, and decide to protect it? And from that, we can all benefit, whether it's recreationally, economically, or just by the pleasure of living in a place with pure resources that are protected and clean.
It affects my family in a number of ways, for their health and for their condition of life. And without clean, quality water, then my family and my animals, my honeybees and everything else are suffering because of the water being polluted and not good water.
One of the stories that I have from when I was a youth and why water was important to me was I grew up in a family that we fished a lot. And like I said, we were from the Columbia area, so we had a place up on Lake Watershed, which is between Columbia and Charlotte, up that direction. And the story I remember from my childhood is maybe one of the greatest memories that I have growing up. Was one day I was in second grade and my grandfather came. I didn't know he was coming, but he came and picked me up from school early, got me out of school, and we went and had a picnic lunch and went fishing and spent the day on the lake up on Lake Watershed. And that'll always be a memory that I cherish. And growing up fishing and my family being in the business of selling bait, it was we basically spent most of our time either working on the water, being on the water, recreating, or selling to those that were spending time on the water.
We have a lot of businesses that depend on tourism. Our restaurants, some of our retail, they have people come all the time, whether it's fishing, boating, just any number of things, hiking. We're working on the Palmetto Trail now. We're going to have a trail at Stump House Mountain for bikers. All this ties together. It's very important. We've got to be good stewards of our community.